Hi there, you guys. Sorry I couldn't be with you today, but we are going to have class as usual. So the sub is going to show this video pausing along the way, and you guys are going to complete all of the same work that we would normally do if I were there in the classroom. So right now I need you to get out your Chromebooks. I need you to get out your notes and your homework for 3.13. Please do not take this notes quiz without your notes. I want you to get 100%, right? So in a minute, the sub is going to pause this video for 10 minutes while you guys do two things. You are going to correct 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 on your homework, and then you are going to take the notes quiz. So please pause for 10 minutes, work on the notes quizzes, and make sure to get those homework problems corrected. Please pause now. All right, so if you would also pause again and collect the homework, all students' Chromebooks should be closed at this time. If you did not finish with the notes quiz, please finish it later, but I do not want your Chromebooks to be open at all during this class. Remember also no phones, no headphones. So please pause and collect all of the homework that there is and put it in my basket. All right, here's our calendar. So today I'm out. We're doing evaluation and substitution. Next week, we have a short week. We have one class day, and then we have fall break. The following week, we have one last lesson, a review day, and then we test on Friday, October 28th. So please be sure that you are getting all of your homework done and that you have all of your notes. All right. The sub is going to hand out green sticky notes to you if they haven't done that already. And I would like you to put in 3.14. Today, we are going to be substituting values, numbers, for variables in order to solve expressions. So if green sticky notes aren't out, please hit pause and get those out. If they are, then great. Students, you should already have your notes out from the quiz. Label it and let's move on. All right, you need to copy what is in black. So the sub's going to pause this for a minute until everybody gets a chance to copy substitution and adjacent variables information. All right, you should have these notes at this point. So substitution means that you're going to replace variables, letters of the alphabet, with numbers, and you're going to calculate what the answer is. Couple of things. I need you to show substitution. Oh, there's my pen. I definitely want you to show that substitution work. Okay. And follow GEMDAS. So remember grouping symbols first, exponents next, multiplication and division left to right, and then addition and subtraction left to right. So I know that a lot of people were still struggling with that at the end of Unit 1. You're getting a chance to practice again. Variables, remember, are just letters that represent values we don't know yet. So we're going to get rid of all the variables, all the X's and all the V's and all the A's. We're going to get rid of all the letters and we're going to put numbers in instead. Last thing you need to understand is that adjacent variables mean that they're multiplied. So if I said A, B, what that really means is A times B. Numbers work that way too. So if I said 2x, what that means is 2 times x. Okay. If I said 1/2, well, I realized I'm writing this in black, although not a bad thing to have as an example. Here, let me erase this one. You don't necessarily have to copy this one down. If I wrote 1/2 y, that would mean 1/2 times y. Okay. Please do not use x to represent multiplication. That is now a variable and we are not using it anymore. So this would make me very sad. Don't say 4 times p. That's 4xp, which is very different. Okay, so do not use x to multiply. All right, let's do a few here. We're going to hit some exponents and we'll review exponents really quick, but these first ones are just basic substitution and solving. So here's what we're going to do. I would like you to copy down number 1. So please, in your notes right now, write down number 1. 2 minus 32 over f. And then I also want you to write this f equals 8. So here's the substitution. This is the work I expect you to show. 2 minus 32 over 8. Okay. Now we're going to actually work this problem. So there are no grouping symbols. There are no exponents. We're going to go to multiplication and division. That's going to be first. So 2 minus 32 divided by 8 is 4. Okay. Then we're going to do addition and subtraction. If there's more than one, remember we're going left to right. So our addition and subtraction, 2 minus 4. So this is a positive 2. 2 good guys, 4 bad guys. That is going to leave us with a negative 2. And that is my answer to the first one. Okay. Sorry about these numbers being weird. This is number 2. Please write down negative 3 parentheses minus 5c minus 8 end parentheses. And then I also want you to write this down, right? C equals 2. So write the original. Okay. We're going to copy it down, except then when we get to the C, we're going to put in the number 2. So minus 3 parentheses minus 5 times 2. Remember when we have the 5 and the C together, so 5C means 5 times C, right? Minus 8, end parentheses. So this time we do have a grouping symbol. We need to do the stuff in there first, okay? But inside that grouping symbol, we have multiplication first. Negative 5 times a positive 2 is going to be a negative 10, still in the parentheses, minus 8. Okay, so remember a negative and a positive is a negative. 5 times 2 is 10, minus 8. We're going to keep that negative 3 in the front. Now we're still working inside our grouping symbol. Minus 10 minus 8, that's 10 bad guys and 8 more bad guys. That's a negative 18, still in parentheses. Because now what we need to remember is that the parentheses also mean multiplication. A negative and a negative is a positive. 3 times 18. 3 times 8 is 24, carry your 2. 3 times 1 is 3, 4, 5. That is my answer, positive 54. Please make sure that you have all of that written down. If the sub would just look around the room and make sure that kids are getting this, hit pause if necessary. Okay, let's go on to 15. Now 15 looks awful, but once we start putting all the numbers in, it'll be fine. So I'd like you to write this down. So I'm sorry, I called it 15. Let's call this actually number 3. So P minus parentheses, 9 minus parentheses, M plus Q, end parentheses, end parentheses. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to substitute. We're going to show the work. So the M is going to go there. That's the 4. That P is 5. That's going to go at the front. And the Q is 3 is going to go in where the Q is. So let's replace everything. We're going to show the substitution. We're not going to start any math. So P is 5. 5 minus. This is called substitution. Just like the sub is here today replacing me as a teacher, you are now replacing the numbers, the variables with the numbers. So we are substituting right now. Open parentheses, the 9 is fine, minus open parentheses. But instead of M, I'm going to use this 4. Plus, instead of the Q, I'm going to use this 3. End parentheses, end parentheses. Okay, now I've done my substitution. Now I'm going to do GEMDAS. GEMD, left to right if necessary. AS, left to right if necessary. So I have a bunch of grouping symbols. 4 plus 3 is first. So we have 5 minus parentheses 9 minus 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay. Now we're going to do what's inside these parentheses. So this is still 5 minus 9 minus 7. So this is a positive 7 and a positive 9. I have 9 good guys. Oh, sorry, I can't There we go. 9 good guys and 7 bad guys. I'm going to end up with 2. I'm sorry. Yes, 2 good guys still left over. This is really 9 minus 7, which is 2. So now we have 5 minus 2. And I'm going to scoot this out of the way because I ran out of room. 5 minus 2 is 3. Whoosh, there we go. Okay, so remember we're going to do grouping symbols first. There weren't any exponents. There was no multiplication or division, but we had addition and subtraction. And remember, we move from left to right. 5 minus 2 is 3. All right, let's do a little reminder on exponents before we hit this one that has exponents. Remember that it tells you how many times to multiply the base by itself. So like 5 to the 5th is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Or Q to the 3rd is Q times Q times Q. Okay, so A squared is going to be 5 squared minus, I guess I should have paused for a second and had you guys actually write this down. So let's copy this. This is number 4. Okay, this is going to be A squared minus B in parentheses divided by 6. So write that down. And then we need A squared. That's going to be 5 squared minus B, which is 1 in parentheses, divided by 6. All right. So G is grouping. Well, I have 5 squared minus 1. So inside that grouping, I have an exponent. That means 5 times 5 minus 1 divided by 6. Now we're going to do multiplication and division. 5 times 5 is 25 minus 1, still in parentheses, divided by 6. Now we're still inside grouping symbols. So inside that grouping symbol, we need to do addition and subtraction. 25 minus 1 is 24, divided by 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4, and that's our final answer. So again, if the substitute would pause and just make sure that kids have all of that, remember these are on the notes quiz next time I see you. All right, classwork is next. You're going to do a worksheet. The front side of the worksheet is going to talk about order of operations, some reminders about exponents, and then just substitution. You're not going to solve those first ones. You're just going to substitute and show me the work. Then on the back, you have 10 problems that you're going to work for the rest of this class, and you are going to substitute and solve. So I want to see the work. Don't just skip over and start doing all of this in your head. For these 10, I expect to see work. So you can hit pause now, and then near the end of the class, if you would remember to hand out the homework, that would be really great. So don't forget to give out the homework before these guys leave. Do that over the weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, so next week we only have 1 class day. Finish your classwork, do as much as you can in what's left of the period, and then turn that in and take home the homework. Bye, you guys. Have a great weekend.